individuals from different communities, religions interact at a person-to-person level, then a lot of myths that they have formed about each other get removed. And that makes all the difference.
We live comfortable lives in big houses. Start off the day with a relaxed tea, a walk in the park, and steaming hot breakfast. Our homes are neat and clean, the last speck of dust cleaned off by our house help. Have we ever thought about the ones who bring us our newspapers, or clean our cars, or wash our dishes? Where do they live? How do they live? Who are these people who make our lives comfortable? What makes their days peaceful, easier, or safe? These and many such questions made Rajendra Joshi from Ahmedabad take a peek into the lives of those who he calls forgotten citizens. And there started the journey of Saath.
Saath started as a trust in 1989. Frankly, we didn't start Saath with a lot of planning. When we started, we had a staff of 2, and today the Saath system has a staff of probably 300 people. We at Saath decided to work in a slum, and our approach was that we wanted to bring the youth together. We thought that if we are able to build up their capacities and motivate them, then they in turn would be motivated to improve their lifestyles and the situation in the slum. So we decided on an integrated approach, what we call integrated slum development.
I still remember the day when I started my journey with Saath. I got an opportunity to work with Saath as a youth facilitator in the Youth Host project, where we learned how to work with the community, how to work with people, and that all thing I implemented in my work after attending that training.
Along the way, we decided that now we would like to work in a bigger area. So we selected an area called Guptanagar. It was in the outskirts of the city, and it was a slum of about 1,200 households. In Guptanagar, the biggest need was really that of basic services: water, drainage, sanitation, toilets, roads, electricity. The municipal corporation didn't provide those services because they said this is an illegal area. The residents wanted those services, so we created a system called the Slum Networking Project, where money would be paid in phases as the work progressed.
This has changed the entire standard of living. The slum dwellers dissociate themselves from the slums, and they say that we are now a part and parcel of the city. They are telling us that please give us the tax bills. We want to pay the municipal tax and share the burden of the civic services.
It was the first of its kind in India, if not the world, where slum residents were paying for this kind of services. It went on to win several international awards, and it was replicated in Ahmedabad and other cities. And all this was done through the Sakhi Mahila Mandal, not even through Saath. He recruited women from the slum to become health workers and teachers. They formed a group which was known as the Sakhi Mahila Mandal. And over there also we started a savings and credit group. So other women joined the Mandal, Sakhi Mahila Mandal, in order to, save, take loans, etc. The biggest shift has been in aspirations. You see, compared to 1989 today, the situation is quite different. I have seen a person who failed in her 10th standard is doing so well as a CEO of a cooperative. That is Madhuben.
આજે હું સાત કોઓપરેટિવમાં સીઈઓની પોસ્ટ પર કામ કરું છું. સાત બચત અને ધિરાણ મંડળીમાં લગભગ 25,000 જેટલા સભાસદો છે. હાલમાં અમદાવાદની અંદર 10 જેટલી બ્રાન્ચો છે. ટીમ વર્કમાં અમે કામ કરીએ છીએ. સંસ્થાનું વાતાવરણ, સંસ્થાના મૂલ્યો એ એવા છે કે જેના લીધે વ્યક્તિને પોતે ક્યાંય પણ રીતે ગભરાતા હોય કે મુશ્કેલી પડતી હોય તો બધા એકબીજાને સપોર્ટ કરે છે. અને એવી જ રીતના હું છેલ્લા 30 વર્ષમાં મારી પોતાની જે આવડત છે એને વધારતા આજે આ પોસ્ટ ઉપર કામ કરું છું.
When one looks at slum residents, they have so little. They do have aspirations, of course, but they don't complain about what they don't have. They live in slums, contribute significantly to the growth and the maintenance of a city. So it seems that this city has forgotten to reward them for their contribution. So that is why I call them the forgotten citizens.